Hey, what's up, guys? Gaburan quiet, sir. It's been a good while, honestly. It's been a good fucking long while, but let's make up for lost time with a new spirit video. And this one is gonna be on Sitri. So this video is gonna be on Sitri, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Before we before I begin his profiling, I'm gonna read you guys the gist on what you could find on C3 in relation to looking at a specific looking at the Lesser Key of Solomon grimoire. So C3, one of the spirits meant therein mentioned within the Goetia itself. So different Goetia manuscripts and whatnot. Sometimes he's depicted as the second spirit. Sometimes he is the one of the 30th or one of the 40th, etc., etc. But it all depends on what variation or version of the Lesser Key of Solomon in which you simply in which you partake in and whatnot. Okay, whether it be the old school one, the Lemegaten Clavicula Salomonis, or whether if it's just the Samuel McGregor Mathers version with slash Aleister Crowley version, or it doesn't really matter. Okay, in general, these guys are all mentioned therein within these manuscripts, these ancient manuscripts. In any case, I'm gonna be going over my copy, or my version of the Lesser Key of Solomon, and yeah, I'm just gonna read you guys basic information in which you'll find when looking up C3 in these books. So yeah, it's written in quote unquote broken English, not necessarily broken English, but literally just old fashioned ancient English, like thee, thou, they, thereth, it's shit like that, appeareth, okay, shit like that, okay. Basically, like what I like to say is just ancient English, okay. But yeah, the 12th spirit C3 is, yeah, I'm sorry. The 12th spirit is C3. He is a great prince and appeareth at first with a leopard's head and wings of a griffin. But after the command of the master of the exorcism, he putteth on human shape, and that very beautiful. He flammeth men with women's love, and women with men's love. He causeth them to show themselves naked if it be desired. He governeth 60 legions of spirits. His seal is this, to be worn as a layman before thee, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much the general description on C3, in which you'll find in some of these grimoires. So yeah, and okay, now I'm gonna give my input on the description. Okay, so if this description has any merit, and let's just say yeah, it does have merit. Okay, it does have merit. C3 does appear. He does appear. I was about to say appeareth. Oh boy. But yeah, C3 does appear like what was stated in this description, this brief description on him. Okay, and it doesn't matter. Okay, in general, in terms of entitlements like kings, prince, dukes, duchess, etc. Okay, what else? What else? Just general entitlements. It doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's like me. It's like me being called, okay, Prince Gebura Inquires, Prince Eduardo Espinal, or something similar. I mean, I would love to be called Prince Eduardo Espinal. Don't get me wrong, but not that I am some fucking prince or something similar. I mean, entitlements have nothing to do with these guys' position or anything similar. Okay, from a literal perspective, literally. So from a literal overall general perspective, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can simply just direct these guys as C3, not literally say, Prince C3, hello, Prince C3. Can you please help me, Prince C3? Blah, 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 blah. No, this is just typical beginner crap, okay? This is just, the people do this shit when they have no idea on, okay? When they have no idea that, it's like when they first read this shit for the first time and they see, oh, okay, so, hey, he's a great prince, I'm just gonna call him Prince C3. But little do they know that the author simply just, they just gave these guys positions and ranks and entitlements and shit. But not that it matters. I mean, he's literally telling me this shit right now. So yeah, in any case, moving on with that bullshit aside. Okay, in terms of his appearance, yes, he does take this appearance, okay? Generally speaking, the first time that I saw C3, that's the first form that he took for me, because it's just his general form. Okay, this is the general form that he takes when you begin working with him and similar, and his voice is also weird. It also comes off as like a bit weird, but I'll go over that more later on down the line within this video. But yeah, he does take that appearance, and in general, in terms of him being skilled with love or skilled in love, no, that's not the case. C3 is not skilled in love in any way, shape, or form. What he's skilled in is influence. Okay, that's what C3 does. He's skilled in influence. Okay, he can influence someone to love someone else via influence. So it all works on the influence itself. Okay, so it all works on the influence itself, and I'm sorry, it's some fucking stupid ass fly, but yeah, it all works on the influence itself. And so essentially, to get the gist of it, okay, C3 could literally influence two people to want an intimate relationship with one another, or C3 could simply just influence someone to how do I say this, to hate each other, or to form a friendship bond with each other, and etc, etc, etc. Okay, it could be anything. He can influence someone to like you at your job, etc, etc. It doesn't matter, as long as it falls under influencing someone, okay, to bestow upon a mentality or a mindset onto a sentient being, then that's essentially what C3 is skilled in. So that's pretty much it. So yeah, his general Goetia description does have merit, okay, and that's pretty much it. His seal is this, which is what you'll find within the article that I made for him. Okay, so yeah, with this general mercurial colors and etc. So that's pretty much it. It does have merit. So yeah, moving on to his actual profiling. Okay, so here it goes. His background. So C3 is a fallen angel. He's an infernal angel, and he comes from the order of angels. So he's from the order of angels, or order of Malach. So Malach in Hebrew, the order of Malach, and yeah, that's pretty much it. He in terms of the meaning of his name, his name really doesn't mean anything other than yeah, no. Yeah, as far as I remember, his name has no meaning. But yeah, in general, his corresponding planet is Mercury. So he's an infernal mercurial angel. He's from Mercury, so he falls under Mikael in this case. And yeah, and in general, he corresponds to 9 degrees in Gemini. So he corresponds to 9 degrees in Gemini, and it gives it away. Okay, in terms of what he's skilled in. Okay, 9 degrees in Gemini deals with this. Okay, influencing people, influencing groups of people, or simply influencing one person. Okay, but in general, it corresponds to influence. The key word here is influence. So yeah, what he's skilled in, which is yeah, I already went over that he's skilled in influence. So yeah, moving on, his appearance. Okay, so I've also already mentioned that he takes the form of that fucking. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm taking this shit off. Oh, but yeah. So I already mentioned that C3 takes the appearance of that leopard humanoid shape, that leopard-like humanoid being, and yeah, you can get a general gist of what I'm referring to in his article. So the article that's embedded in the description down below. Okay, there will be a link to this article within the video description itself, so you can just consult my article for any more information that I forget to add into this, or that I just don't blindly mention, because it's just too much baggage. But yeah, in general, that's pretty much the form that he takes at first. And the voice, in terms of the voice that he has with that form, it comes off as a bit shady. No offense to him. Okay, it comes off like a sly guy. Okay, like some shady guy. The best way in which I could describe how C3 sounds with this form is, generally speaking, someone that you'll see in pop culture or pop media, mainstream media, who's simply I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with this image, but some guy with the trench coat, and then he has like a bunch of pockets and shit. He's trying to sell you something alongside the street, like, hey, Eduardo, you won't miss on these offers, buy these stuff, I sell awesome food and shit like that, blah 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 blah. That's essentially how he sounds. He sounds like he's trying to speak with a low tone, or basically not alert anyone. Someone who's just quiet. Okay, that's essentially how C3 sounds. And within the leopard form, okay, like a shady voice. But the second form that he took from me was his celestial form, because he sensed out that I prefer these kinds of forms. I prefer their actual true angelical form. So he simply just said, "Is this better for you, Eduardo?" And he simply just shapeshifted right there in front of me, right there and then, into his celestial form. Okay, and it was that of a beautiful angel. Okay, a refined man, the general angelic appearance. Okay, but C3 is very extravagant. Okay, C3 he's very eye catching, or he's like eye candy, so to speak. Okay, C3's colors will literally have you dozing off. Generally speaking, the color aspects in which in which C3 in which C3 bears within his appearance is the general mercurial colors, the opposing colors of orange and blue. And essentially right now he's in this form. And yeah, his eyes are dark blue. His skin is Caucasian, nice and Caucasian, with curly blonde hair. Sometimes it's wavy, sometimes it's curly. What else? He's wearing a nice orange robe, like a nice how do I say this? A nice light orange. And his sash is blue, so it's sky bluish, and it goes from here all the way down, and it wraps around his waist. Um, his sandals are nice dark brown. No, no, I'm sorry, they're black. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought that was dark brown. But yeah, no, it's black. And that's pretty much it. He's wearing some kind of some bronze like bracelets on his arms. And yeah, that's pretty much it really. There's nothing else really to refer to upon C3's appearance. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And he's not holding anything, because he's not the destructive kind. He's not destructive in nature. Generally speaking, angels who you'll see who are holding like weaponry and shit like that, these guys are destructive in nature. So yeah, these guys are like from either Saturn or Mars, or they're from the moon, or they're from the sun, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. They're plutonium, but it keeps. But in general, these guys are all destructive. C3 is not like that. Okay, so yeah, he doesn't really hold much. I never honestly I never even seen C3 hold anything, uh, from my perspective. So yeah, so that's pretty much how he looks. And within this form, he simply sounds like his voice is more refined. Okay, simply put, his voice is more refined, and he sounds more normal and shit. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He just has a normal voice. It's more prominent. Okay, he speaks like, okay, like he simply just has a majestic voice. Okay, a normal angelic voice. It's not echoey or anything like my patrons. Okay, like Haniel or Samael, and it keeps going on and on and on. But since he's like a minor angel or a senior angel, yeah. He's a senior angel, but well, he used to be a senior angel, but now he's fallen. He's infernal. But yeah, in general, since he's like a senior angel, then yeah, his voice is more prominent. Okay, I can't really describe it in any other way. It's just more projecting. That's pretty much all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's his background, his correspondence, the planet that he's from. Oh yeah, one more thing that I forgot to mention. C3. Okay, C3 does not rule over any sphere in the astral plane. C3 simply just has his own. He has his own, what I'm referring to by sphere, I mean simply just that he doesn't rule over any Kabbalistic sphere. Okay, so no Cliphotic or Sephirotic sphere. He simply just has his own astral plane. You can refer to this as his own astral home or astral house. Um, Generally speaking, he told me about his astral home, and that's pretty much it. That he rules over no sphere but his own sphere. He has his own sphere, in which you can visit in your own time. If you would like to propose to him, hey, C3, can you bring me over to your sphere in the astral plane? I would like to visit it. Blah 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 blah, and he'll simply bring you on over there. But I wasn't really interested in visiting it, because I'm familiar with these guys as with spirits having their own sphere and shit like that. Like my sixth patron burial, the one who is written therein in this pinnacle. These are all new tattoos and shit. These are all new tattoos, but yeah. And yeah, the one whose name, the angel, the lunar angel whose name was mentioned therein within the fourth pinnacle of Jupiter. Yeah, he also has his own astral sphere, and it keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And C3 has his own astral plane as well, which I will be planning to visit more throughout the passage of time. Okay, more down the line in the future. So in any case, that's pretty much it on C3 and everything. So yeah, now we can go over my experiences with C3, which is gonna be a long one, honestly, and I'm gonna try and keep things as short and as straight to the point and as brief as possible. But if I don't do so, I'm sorry, but there's just a lot of shit to mention within this within my experiences with C3 because yeah, you know, the shit that we just had to deal with in light of this stupid customer that I had, it's just you know, it's just too much. It's too much to mention. In any case, so yeah, generally speaking, I started working with C3 like 3 months ago specifically on behalf of a customer. So simply put, I petitioned C3 to be set in charge of my customers working, and this is a female that we're talking about. I'm not mentioning any names or anything, obviously, for you know, for security reasons and personal reasons and etc etc. But yeah, this is a female customer and she's lesbian. And simply put, she simply came my way and she talked to me about her wanting to get her lover back, her female lover back. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, I can obviously I can do this for you. You know, this is easy peasy. I can do this for you like without sweating. So what I did was I simply tried to petition my beloved thrice Lord Haniel. So my Haniel, Archangel Haniel, the one who rules over the seventh sphere of the Sephiroth, Nezak. I tried to petition Hania to simply take care of her job, but Hania didn't want to do so. Okay, he told me this. He told me it's due to her nature. He told me it's due to her nature and the fact that she is that it's women on women action, and generally speaking, archangels don't deal with this crap. Okay, they don't deal with that kind of shit. Okay, because they're holy spirits. These guys represent virtue at its finest, at its purest, rawest form. Okay, and these guys, archangels and angels in general, okay, specifically archangels, they don't have any ruling spirit above them other than God themselves. I mean God himself. Okay, so no one rules over Haniel or my beloved my vice patron Raphael or Samael and etc 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 Hraciel, other than God himself. So these guys are literally like the pinnacle of the hierarchical tree of reality, of life. And so yeah, these guys represent virtue at its purest, rawest, finest form. And obviously they're not gonna fucking want to condone with any debauchery or anything that's similar to this aspect of life. Okay, so same gender on gender action and etc. Whether it's two guys touching swords together or if it's you know, it's two girls you know, scissor fucking and etc. Nah, these guys don't correspond to shit like that. Okay, we're dealing with holy spirits here. You try and deal with an archangel while being gay or something. Okay, you won't get too far. These guys will literally just not even give you the time of day. They won't take you seriously. Yeah. These guys are telling me right now that don't even try that shit because they wouldn't even support you. They wouldn't even heed your call is what he's trying to say. They wouldn't heed your call. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Okay, I mean, from a biblical perspective, where do you see that being gay is correct? You know, obviously this shit goes against the grain, so to speak. Okay, it goes against the laws of reality and the way that Elohim and Father set out the world to be. That's why two people of the same gender cannot procreate or repopulate. Okay, they simply they can't get shit done. Why? Because it's literally the rule of nature itself. Okay, beyond the celestial rule of sentient beings and them being able to procreate and etc. Okay, down to nature itself, it literally contradicts nature. Okay, the law of nature. So from a literal celestial perspective, then yeah, you're even worse off, honestly. So yeah, no. Shit's not okay, okay? And in general, being gay is like a mental illness. It's like a form of mental illness. So yeah, generally speaking, that is that. Okay, you can take it how you will, but that's pretty much reality, okay? Whether you're some kind of fucking some stupid liberal SJW who, you know, whose people in power made this shit to be normalized in this day and age that we find ourselves within, that's your problem. But from a literal celestial hierarchical reality perspective, no, it's not normal, and no archangel will support this bullshit. So yeah, in general, I had to petition Sitri because he's fallen in nature. So I simply was like, okay, no, I understand, Hanya. I understand where you're coming from, and I agree, and blah 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 blah. So he simply pointed me to the best direction, and he told me that that I should petition someone like Sitri since he's fallen and he's skilled in influence and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, yeah, we'll do so, and yeah. I'm sorry. And yeah, generally speaking, C3 didn't give a rat's ass that the person is lesbian. He was like, okay. His mindset on this was like, okay, you know, I get free energy from this. I gain experience from this. You know, I don't really correspond to any celestial laws. So let me just go ahead and help this bitch out. And that's what we did, okay? At first, she wanted me to cast a natal chart on her, which I did. And I told her everything. And she was satisfied for the most part. But due to her being skeptical, um she didn't really believe in some of her character traits, but since the date and time and everything, the time of birth, the fucking longitude and latitude, everything was correct down to the bone, then everything literally corresponds to her, literally. So yeah, she's one of those guys that can't handle the truth, so to speak, guys. She's one of those girls that can't handle the truth. So yeah, no, I just did my job in general. Okay, I did my job and that was it. Then before we got to the working, she wanted me to cast a need. She wanted me to cast some divinations, okay, via astrology as well as tarot, to find out whether if her partner is cheating on her, or if her partner has sights set on someone else, her sights set on someone else, or what's the general outlook that her partner has on her. So in what way or shape or form in which her partner looks at her after everything, after they broke up and after they stopped talking to each other and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. I did this free of charge, so it was on the table. Okay, it was on the table. Okay, off of me. I simply just did everything for free, and yeah, I told her everything, and she could not believe the shit that I brought her way. She was losing her mind essentially, and and we essentially got to the bottom in which we got to the bottom of everything in relation to where her partner stands after everything. And yeah, her partner was essentially moving on by the day. So her partner was moving on by the day. As the days go, she was losing those past dormant feelings that she had on my customer. She had her sights set on someone else, whether it be a girl or a boy. And yeah, my customer simply just, she couldn't believe it, honestly. So yeah, we went on from there. She was really desperate to see this through in terms of me helping her out with her love affair and etc. And I simply just did what I could. But at first I was reluctant because I was like, no, there's no point. This girl's not your true love, honestly. Okay, this is not true love. I mean, why the hell are you even going out of your way for this shit? You're literally just under a spell. It's in terms of, not that she's literally under a spell, but okay, generally speaking, when you have a crush on someone, it's almost as if you're under a spell, because you'll do anything to see to it that you gain the attention of this person, despite them not having no effort in the relationship itself, or even you. Okay, that they don't even have any emotions towards you. They're just there nonchalant, like, hey, oh, look at this girl right here, I'm not even taking her seriously, but she's going crazy for me, That's what a crush is. And she's the one on the receiving end from this shit. Okay, she's the one who's coming off as overbearing, so to speak, in terms of just going all out for the relationship. And it goes on and on and on and on. And I told her this, and she just simply she believed it at first, but she simply started playing the ignorant card. Okay, she started pulling out the ignorant card, and she was like, I don't care. I just want my lover back. Can you please help me? Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, man, what the fuck? You know what? I'll do my job. Okay, you want your lover back? We'll see to it that we get it done. But it's gonna come with a price, okay? And generally speaking, I told her everything in terms of the relationship not lasting forever because it's not her true love, and blah 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 blah. And she just couldn't handle it. She couldn't handle it. So I told C3 to do the next best thing, which is trying to make the relationship last for like at least 3 years before they're back to square one. Okay, at least she could get like a shot of happiness, so to speak, for a short amount of time. And yeah, no, so we began with everything, okay? We began with the working, we simply got to it, blah 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 blah. And and yeah, throughout the passage of the working, C3 was literally doing his thing for this girl. He was really doing his thing, and this guy, since he's Mercurial, he works fast. So he works really really fast. Mercurial spirits, generally speaking, no matter celestial or fallen or infernal, these guys work really really fast. But as fast as the energy comes, as fast as the energy goes. And I'm gonna tell you what happened with this bitch. Generally speaking, this bitch was doing a lot of stupid shit that me and C3 told her not to do, which is maintain contact with this person throughout the working itself, because generally speaking, she might cause an argument to break out between the two, because my customer, I saw her trace, and my customer has she has the negative trait or character trait in general, the negative attribute in terms of bringing back bullshit or wrongdoings that was done on her part, that is negative, okay? That is essentially considered negative. And she'll just rub it all over the person's face. She'll bring back shit from the past, like, oh, I remember when you did this, blah 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 blah. She has that trait, okay? So yeah, she essentially sparked an argument with this bitch, and we were trying to prohibit her from doing that. But my intuition and my senses already saw that she was gonna do that. I just wanted to see if everything was gonna fall in line with what I noticed and what I sensed out, okay? Whether she would actually listen to me or go with what my vision saw, and what I saw within my vision. And yeah, no, she literally just went with the vision, okay? She ignored everything that we told her to do, told her not to do, essentially. And yeah, she sparked an argument between her and her partner to the point where we were back to fucking square one, okay? And C3 had to put in more effort into this working itself, and it was stupid, honestly. It was just so fucking dumb. It was just, I mean, you couldn't be any more stupid anymore, even if you tried, in terms of how dumb this fucking customer is. But yeah, okay. And C3 is telling me this right now. She's like, yeah, she's a bit redundant. She's not, her head is not screwed on straight, but that's essentially what we were dealing with. And yeah, I know, I agree. Okay, her head was really not screwed on straight. This bitch really, throughout the whole working itself, okay, besides her making us start all the way from square one again, and making C3 have more work to deal with, okay, she would occasionally call me, and she would want some closure on the whole situation. She's like, Eduardo, what do I do? I'm a bit depressed. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I can't bear the fact that this is happening with my partner. I just want her back. Blah 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 blah. She kept doing this shit and doing this shit and doing this shit. And at first, I just kept going on with it. I didn't really care. But at some point, it just got so annoying. It got so fucking annoying that I simply told her. I called her one day and I was like, listen, okay, you're gonna have to stop, because you're actually annoying me. Okay, you're really annoying me now, and this is getting overboard. Okay, you're gonna have to chill out. And she understood everything, and she was like, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't. I'll try to simply just keep everything to myself. And I mean, it's a lack of manners, honestly. What the fuck would I look like if I go to someone and I just throw all of my baggage onto the table, okay? And I just toss it all over this fucking person, Okay, I broke up with my girlfriend the other day, blah 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 blah. I'm going bankrupt, okay? They closed my bank account, okay? I just got fucking jumped the other day. I got mugged, etc., etc., etc. It keeps going on and on. What the fuck would I look like there? I was just like, they're just gonna look at me like some fucking lost cause, honestly. Like, look at this fucking sorry, helpless ass motherfucker. I mean, that's essentially what she was coming off like. So I was like, I told her everything. I told her straight up everything. I checked her, and yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, she stopped doing that for the most part. But yeah, she was a bit unsatisfied at the fact that that she fucked up, and I was like, I mean, well, this was your fault. I mean, this was your fault. Now you're not gonna get the results that you want on time. And keep in mind, we were on a rush. We were on a rush to beat time, so to speak. We were attempting to beat time because my customer's level was moving on by the day's goal. So yeah, essentially, we were trying our best to beat time, so to speak. But yeah, there was only so much that we could do before this bitch ends up fucking falling to her base impulses, her impulsiveness, her instinct and instinctualness, so to speak, instinctualness. I mean, going off of base instincts, being swayed, easily swayed by her emotions. That's essentially what happened here. And yeah, so once she did that, she fucked everything up for all of us, and there was more work that needed to be done in terms of C3 influencing my customer's lover, and yeah, because essentially what she did was she sparked those negative thoughts of my customer, once again, when C3 was suppressing it and bestowing upon new thoughts in terms of her outlook on my customer, okay, in terms of being attracted to my customer once again, and blah 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 blah. She literally just sparked all those negative bullshit up all over again. And since we only were like since we were only like a quarter to halfway almost done with the working, then yeah, we simply just, those thoughts overpowered C3's influence, and yeah, essentially we had to start from square one. But yeah, in general, we continued on, and yeah, once we started all over again, everything was good, everything was going swell. We were literally this time actually halfway done with the working, and everything was going swell. Okay, my customer's lover came back to this bitch, and she went back into this bitch's life. I'm sorry that I'm using vulgarity, but it's true. This bitch is a literal bitch. She's not a woman, honestly. She is. I mean, her general nature speaks for itself. If Hania wanted nothing to do with this girl, then it speaks for itself. Okay. Generally speaking, archangels wouldn't want to help someone unless they have high standards, high morality. These guys have virtue, and etc. etc. These guys are normal. Okay, these guys are normal. They're normal individuals. They're serious in nature, and etc. etc. But this bitch is just some misfit, honestly. Some fucking misfit. Some ghetto misfit, honestly. Some fucking degenerate. So yeah, she doesn't get my fucking respect whatsoever. So this bitch, we brought my customer's lover back into this girl's life, and essentially, what my customer did was this. Okay, she saw that the results were working. Okay, and that my customer's lover came back to within her life, and they were talking every day, and they were even going out on small dates here and there. They would meet up and do shit and blah blah blah. My customer's lover actually went to her house, and etc etc etc. Okay, they were doing a bunch of shit. C3 was going hard, so to speak. Okay, I mean, well, yeah, he was going hard, but you know what I mean. C3 was going all out in this within this working, and yeah, essentially he was just doing his thing. But this bitch fucked up at this. What she did was she started seeing that everything was slowly becoming back to normal. Okay, that she was slowly getting her partner back and blah blah blah. And what she did was essentially, she was like, oh, my lover is back in my life. Look at this. Okay, I'll just pick it up from here, Eduardo. I'll pick it up from here. You don't have to do anything else. Forget C3, forget you. I'll pick everything up from here. And by that, okay, by what I mean is, she simply just thought that, that since this bitch is back in her life, that she'll just easily pick things up, that she doesn't need my help anymore, or C3's help, and blah blah blah. And they even went as far as to go on like some honeymoon flight to Florida, from Rhode Island over to Florida and back. And throughout that whole time, it was like 2 weeks or so, 2 weeks or something, she literally just ghosted my shit. She never replied to me ever again. She never talked to me. I would send her messages. She never spoke to me ever again, and etc. 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 And I was just like, wow. Nah, you made a grave mistake. You really made a grave mistake. Because we're talking about mercurial energy here, okay? If you leave, I couldn't continue the working because, I mean, this bitch was unresponsive. So I simply just put the working on pause. And throughout that whole time, okay, C3 was literally just he was growing impatient. He was becoming impatient and impatient and impatient. He just, to the point where he said, to the point where he simply just stated that that yeah, that I'm tired of this customer. Okay, she's pissing me off with the unserious nature and manner of going about with this working. I've had it with this bitch. He literally called her a bitch as well. Okay, I'm done. She's wasting my fucking time, and I'm moving on. And blah 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 blah. And he's like, like one of those laughs. Yeah, because he understands where I'm coming. He knows that that's essentially what he said. So yeah, generally speaking, yeah, she pissed off Sitri, and Sitri is someone who's very calm. Okay, this guy is calm as fuck. This guy never will you see any signs of coerciveness or anything similar. This guy is calm. So if you piss off someone like that, then you bet your ass you fucked up. Okay, this guy was mad. So yeah, he simply just abandoned the working. All the mercurial energy literally fucking dispersed. Okay, and the working was literally done for. Okay, there was nothing that could be done to help this bitch anymore. Literally nothing that could be done to help this bitch. So yeah, that was pretty much that. She never got back to me, honestly, until it was like around the time in which I wrote C3's article. And that's when she came back. She told me everything, that she was on a honeymoon flight with this bitch. She went to Florida. There was so many people around, so that's why she wouldn't answer my calls, yet alone speak to me, because she didn't want people to see what was going on, and blah 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 blah, making a fucking excuses and shit like that. And I was just like, yeah, but the working is done. I mean, in order for you to pick everything up, you're gonna have to send me another payment, honestly. And I think we should just leave things here, because I know you can afford me. I know you can afford me. You don't even have a job. I know you can afford this price. And she was like, okay, what could we do in order to see to it that things go swell and that the working gets fully done? I was like, okay, it's $800. Okay, I casted the divination and everything for her. The divination stated that everything will be fully taken care of as fast as possible and as effectively as possible with $800. So I told her that, and she was like, okay, I'll get back to you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks passed, 3 weeks, a month, never heard from this bitch again. So I was like, yeah, fuck this bitch. I already wrote the article on him, on C3 and my experiences with this dumb girl, and that was pretty much it. She didn't get back to me at all until after I posted the C3 article, because she read it and she knew that she was in the wrong. She knew everything that she'd done, all the stupidity. Not only that, but the all the work that C3 did dissipated. So she was back to square one. This bitch left her life. My customer's lover left her fucking life. She was no longer to be found. And then she's back into the little depravitile hole in which she found herself within at first. And yeah, now she needs my help again. Oh, boo-hoo, Boo-hoo. That's your problem, honestly. That's your fucking problem. Okay? After all the fucking shit that I did for this bitch, I even went as far as to put in my own work and money into this fucking customer's work, and to see it through, that it gets taken care of. Okay? And no one does that shit. You're not even supposed to do that. But I chose to do so because I take my work very seriously, okay? I don't fuck around when it comes to helping out someone, okay, with my prowesses and etc. Okay? I really see to it that I help a customer out, okay? Even if I have to throw in my all, I will do so, okay? And as well as me throwing in my own money into offerings for the working so that I could give to C3, okay? I also went ahead as to have her back, okay, when C3 was growing impatient, when he was essentially just growing impatient, and he was just was just getting fed up, okay? And I would just tell C3, hey, let's give her some time. She's gonna come back as soon as possible, and blah 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 blah. Let's just give her some time. And he would just be like, okay, but this is, he'll just tell me something, let's see what she does this time. If she doesn't come this time, then she's really starting to fed me up. I'm about to drop this working, Eduardo, blah 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 blah. Stuff like that, okay? I would really have her back on the whole affair, but she just fucked everything up. And all of the input that I put in just for results like this, for everything to result in this manner, I mean, no, it's just, you bet your ass, me and C3 are both mad as fuck at this bitch. So to speak, mad as fuck. I mean, I could give a rat's ass. I did what I did. I was just doing my job. But she was the one who's not serious here. So yeah. So you bet your ass me and Sitri are gonna be slightly annoyed of what happened. In any case, that's pretty much it. So nothing came out of it. This bitch tried to call me multiple times after everything, and I simply just ignored her. Because this bitch is, she's clairvoyant to a moderate basic degree. So I know that if she reads my intentions and whatnot, or if she tries to read my basic energy, my energy that you'll find when you simply just try to read me, okay, from a basic perspective, like, oh, how does this person feel? And I know she feels nothing more than hostility towards her, okay, like giving her a fucking the look of death, honestly, like if I have my sights set on her, like if I want to take brusque authority on this bitch. That's how I felt on her, due to me, you know, due to me embarrassing myself in front of C3 and wasting C3's time and etc due to her stupid ass. So yeah, so essentially I know that she feels everything, and she's like, okay, yeah, no, things got dropped off on the wrong end, so to speak. Things are left on the wrong foot, so to speak. So yeah, and at some point she simply just stopped calling me, and after she started seeing that I was really, I was, to say the least, that I was feeling unpleasant towards her is an understatement. But yeah, not only that, but I was ignoring her. I was literally just opening her messages. I was leaving her on scene. I would react the like emoji to what she would say, knowing that I see that you're calling me, but not that I'm gonna give you the time of day after what you've done. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I simply just restricted her messages. That was all. And this bitch is essentially blocked from my occult services and shops and etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it really on my experiences with C3. Nothing else really to be gone over or to be mentioned. So yeah, that's pretty much C3. C3 is an infernal angel. They're mentioned therein within the Goetian manuscripts, either Lemegaten Clavicula Salomonis or the Lesser Key of Solomon. It doesn't matter, okay, whether if it's Greek, Hebrew, English, Latin, blah 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 blah. It's the same manuscript, okay? It's just different variations. Um, what else? He is mercurial. He corresponds to 9 degrees in Gemini. He's from the order of angels, or the order of Malah in Hebrew. He is skilled in influence. He rules over no sphere, no Kabbalistic sphere, but he has his own astral home in which you can visit if he deems you worthy enough to visit it. Um, and yeah, he also he takes the appearance of a leopard-like humanoid being that speaks in a shady voice. But in certain instances, if you're worthy enough to see this form, he'll show you his celestial angelic form, where he looks like a normal angel, similar to what most fallen angels shown me. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. That's pretty much all on C3. That's pretty much it. He works really fast, but as fast as the energy comes in, as fast as the energy dissipates. So you better keep shit you better essentially just maintain routine, and that's pretty much all. Okay, that's pretty much it. So bye bye. His seal is in the article. I made him a custom seal, which is embedded within the article that I made for him. In the description of this video, you can knock yourself out, and that's pretty much it. Have fun. Bye bye.